The drive from Waco to Austin might be short, but the contrast of these two cities is vast. Waco, calm and quiet. Austin, far from it. Austin stands unique in the Lone Star State for its convergence of music, tech, film, and culture. And as creatives from across the globe descend on that unique capital of Texas, so does the innovative sport of disc golf. The Open at Austin returns for its second year with a bit of a twist, a course reworking that is earning early praise from across the field. With a fresh balance of open fairways and wooded precision, the Harvey Penick golf course is earning its place on tour for years to come. The season is young, yet there's much to prove. New scripts waiting to be written, rhythms still to be set, and the first major of the year is right around the corner. It's spring in Texas. Who knows what's on the horizon? The 2024 Open at Austin starts now.
Hello and welcome to round one coverage of the Open at Austin presented by Flight Factory Discs. You are watching JomezPro and we're on the Harvey Penick golf course, the open course, I'm told. It's Nate Sexton, Jeremy Koling, and Paul Ulibarri.
Yeah, we have a weekend full of some interesting weather coming, and we have to watch out for it going into today because it is definitely looking like it could potentially be nasty out there. But before we get into the round today, I just want to tell you guys that next week at the U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championship, we're going to be trying something new called the Jomez Cast, where I'm going to be your host. We're going to have a live setting on Jomez. We're going to have some guests. We're also going to field questions. It's going to be a brand new thing, laid back atmosphere. Definitely come out and watch that on the first round and the last round.
Well, that's going to be fun, ain't it?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be kind of like the Manning cast for Monday Night Football, I think. That's kind of what we're going for. But yeah, it's going to be a simultaneous cast going on. So we got a sick card though, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, Bradley Williams, Niklas, Anttila, Ezra Robinson. Been playing fantastic.
Yeah, I finally get to see him this season. He really broke out last season, and we saw the goods last week on Waco. But the winner of Waco, Gannon Buhr, also the defending champion at this event last year at the Harvey Penick course. This is a different layout this year. And if you go watch our practice round, I mean, we talk a lot about it, but from everything that we've seen so far, the changes on this course have been pretty amazing. Last year got a lot of criticism. This year, I think it's a very scoreable track when the conditions are nice. Unfortunately, round one, it is going to be incredibly windy as that storm does roll in.
Yeah, and this is one of those changes. Hole 1, par 3, 400 feet right in front of you. Kind of an island green. Let's check in with the chase card to see how those guys are playing it.
This is one of the easier birdies you're going to have on the course. But 400 feet opening shot of the round, certainly
Nice.
one you don't want to leave short.
Nice width on that.
Yeah, we had a nice little right to left wind. You just had to get it wide and coast it in, whatever your 400-foot shot is. Little tap in.
The best starting putt for any tournament right there.
That's a good way to play this one. Let's see what these guys have for us. Here's Bradley Williams. Let's see if he can get it out wide. If you don't get it out wide, you're going to be in some trouble because you will be left, and you'll be left with a headwind putt from about, well, however far left you leave it. You don't want that.
You think anyone is going mid-range on this hole, or is it going to be just fairway drivers and distance drivers?
If it's calm, yeah, I could see that for sure. But today, you really want to use that stability to help you.
That is always a little bit of a tricky putt there for Bradley. He's going to be 37 feet putting back to the elevated pin.
Ezra Robinson.
Not only that, it was almost a head cross at times, switching from right to left tail to head. So you don't really want to throw that mid-range because if it does flip, you're kind of dead.
And this is skipping out there to the left a little bit.
A little better dig than Brad got. A little sharper angle.
He was your 2021 Rookie of the Year, 2022 U.S. Disc Golf Champion. He's our 23 returning Open Champion, sponsored by Discmania and Squatch Disc Golf. Gannon, Buhr.
A lot of accolades for this young man.
Just wait a couple more years.
No kidding.
I remember teeing off in groups with Paul Macbeth. It was a long wait for them to get all those championships out. Give the man his due, though.
Oh, coming in there. Very similar angle to Ezra's. That probably would have dug in. Connects on early tree. Good drive.
Sponsored by Discmania, Niklas, Anttila.
I feel like once you get so many titles, though, pretty soon they just start saying like 3-time and 4-time, and
Sure.
and it's over. Like those big ones kind of take precedence over the Elite Series. Otherwise, we'd be like Macbeth, 73-time Elite Series champion.
Sure.
I got to tell a funny story real quick about the 2010 Minnesota Majestic as Niklas lines up this putt outside the circle. His accolades were so long that the announcer, after he finished saying all the things about him, forgot his last name. He went on for about 5 minutes and he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome David Feldman."
I remember that, actually.
Sometimes it's nice to keep it short and sweet.
Couple missed putts there.
Gannon's not missing that with that zappy putt.
No, we were talking about you don't want to leave it left. Gannon with a nice little pop there, but this one got away from Niklas.
A solid comeback putt. Yeah, that right to left crosswind that Gannon had is sometimes the hardest putt, especially on an elevated basket for a right-handed putter. But that speed cuts through the wind, just like Ezra does there. Ezra also a very quick pace on his putt. He can make them from long range. If you guys remember last year at the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship.
We've seen a lot of highlights from him, but I don't think we've seen him really featured in a round. So I'm very excited to see how he attacks this course, especially being it's not the longest course by any stretch, but I would say this is more of a technical venue. A couple wide open holes.
Yeah, as far as golf courses go, this place kind of reminds me of a shorter version of Glendevere in that it has that technicality factored into the design.
Hole 2, par 4, 715 feet. You got to go over the creek to start and then break to the right. That OB right side can be kind of a problem if you throw too much turnover or if your forehand gets away from you. Then you got to go over the golf green. You can see this is a pretty tight green for disc golf as well, where you've got some OB probably within about 20 feet of the pin.
Mason Ford off after his 4th place finish last week, looking to turn in another solid Texas performance. That drive is really good. If it was 5 feet more right, it would be really bad, but I think he has a good lane to the inside now.
Gonna be blind probably, but not such a big problem. Force him to keep this nice and wide. Gonna need a big skip.
So far, so good. Just give yourself birdie opportunities and connect on them. That's how you do it right there. Mason Ford with a nice birdie in hole 2. One of the harder holes on the course, actually. Playing nearly a third of a stroke over par.
A little left to right wind now. See that lift.
The only change on this hole from last year, well, there's 2 changes. The basket's a little bit farther back, and there's also a new out of bounds on that left side that Ezra was kind of flirting with there.
If you got it, this is what you're going to see a lot of people do. Just the side piece right down the middle.
2-piece chicken nugget.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we aren't counting the thumb. Is that correct?
No.
No, never.
Nate put the no on that. This needs to slow down.
Yeah, this is wide. The tree probably I don't think that was going to find out of bounds. In the end, it probably didn't hurt too bad.
Costs them a little distance. You want all the distance you possibly can on this hole. This is going to be out of bounds, I'm thinking, yeah. See, because now he's left with 380, well, probably 360 in, but low
No, I think you're closer to being right with that 380.
Yeah.
Because I was around that corner and I still had nearly 350 in.
That needs to stop, and it does.
Yeah, where Ezra is here, I think this is in the 370 range.
Look at this sidearm. Never seen him throw one. Sit. Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't think the Robinson brothers spent much time on the sidearm practice screen back in their Georgia days.
Looked good, though. That was
Yeah.
a nice flex.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it might burn over, but it had the stability to come out. You won't see this one get to any sort of Anheuser angle. Niklas has a very, I feel like, underrated sidearm.
Yeah, we don't talk about it because he's such a good backhand player, but his forehand is nice. As is this guy's.
He likes to throw it with a little chop angle usually, and there it is.
And this
Ooh,
is gonna
heavy.
this is going to be pushing towards out of bounds.
And it finds it.
Really like the change on this one, pushing the basket back a bit. Makes it extra difficult. I mean, even that extra little 45 feet, it really pushes into a spot where you have to have two great shots.
And that's a good display of Ezra's putting style. Very on line from that range. Forces just the tiniest bit of Anheuser to get the putter flat out of his hand. Needs this for par.
Gotta be careful too, right behind the basket. You can't really see it. There's a good look. There is out of bounds back there. And to the left, it creeps in probably about 15 to 20 feet.
Niklas in the basket for par. Great save after the OB drive.
It's an exciting time to be Niklas. I mean, so close in Waco.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole disc golfing public of Finland behind him, I feel like. I mean, I think his time is undoubtedly coming. And I think he's like laser focused on that goal because he's tasting how close he's getting.
His talent is nearly immeasurable. It's so good. And I was so happy that when he was doing so well in Finland during the COVID times, and we were all really paying attention to what was happening in Europe because we were separated for 2 years. And the best player from Europe in that time was Niklas. There's no question, really, that his game translated well over here in the States. It's been really awesome watching him develop into the player that he is now.
Hole 3, par 3, 360 feet. Very similar to last year's hole on this course, but the out of bounds is now on the left side. It was the OB last time on this right side rough, and you had all kinds of room on the left. Now that path is the out of bounds line, and you have to be a little bit more careful on that left side. Tailwind today, so forehand a little bit more in play than it generally would be. It's a pretty long shot going up the hill. But forehand, backhand, and also roller, I think, are good options here.
I really like the change on this one, too.
Yeah, I do. It makes more sense to keep people away from the next hole,
Yeah.
have the OB on that side.
The subtle changes are, usually you don't see a course make subtle changes unless it's something big, but they're good here.
Here's that roller play. What I was seeing is these.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think that might have helped him. I think that's going left because the left to right wind actually, you would think would help a roller peel off to the right, but with heavy hyzer on that roller angle, it can push the bottom out and pull you to the left side. So that's a good tree.
I agree with you. That looked too heavy on the angle.
Niklas trying to drive the low backhand turnover, and that pumps the brakes just in time.
Wow.
And this shot shape really favors what Gannon likes to do with the disc,
Oh,
which is throw it over everything.
okay.
Whoa.
And look at this play onto the green.
Wow. That's a big shot.
That's not what I was thinking he was going to do, but
Anyone was
I like
thinking
it.
that.
The only person I saw do that was Anthony.
And that play comes back to being a relevant play with that out of bounds being eliminated off that right side. So good on Gannon.
Well, it's a 500-foot play. It's not like a short shot
Yes.
to get over there. That
No.
it takes most people, like you see Niklas's shot. He really has to pump something nice and firm down the middle even to get it up there. So to go over is another 100 feet.
Ezra over the rim and in for birdie.
He has become such a great putter over the last couple seasons, to the point where you don't know really who's the better putter of the brothers. They're so good, both of them.
It's insane. We were saying that during the Tour Championships last year.
yeah.
Just like, how is that possible that we don't know? After Isaac just was, on the cusp of Player of the Year.
Yeah.
How are we sitting here going, maybe Ezra's the better putter? I mean, they're 1040 and 1039 at last check.
Ezra's 1039?
I think he is. Something like that. I mean, we used to have a little friendly battle about the highest rated brothers in the world, and we went back and forth, but every record we ever set has been
Holy
obliterated
moly.
Yeah,
by
it's-
these two boys.
He's 1039.
That's what I said, remember?
Yeah, you did say that with your words.
Hole 4, par 3, 460. Now this is a fun one. You got out of bounds all the way down the left side. You have this green you got to worry about. Typically, you don't have to worry about this green, but today you will. The out of bounds will then wrap around the basket over here and keep going to your right. The headwind today is just going to be unbearable. I mean, it's going to be 45 mile an hour headwind at least, with gusts probably higher.
Whatever you practice in practice is not necessary for today. You see Calvin's going full on distance driver here.
Starting to flip up, but it has enough to swing left.
This looks great.
Oh, wow.
That is a bullseye tap in. So good.
That's incredible.
And Calvin is back. He had to drop out of Waco last week, but he is back. Said he is still unable to throw the forehands.
It looks like those flags have calmed down from maybe when my card went out there, but still, as you can see this, I mean,
Oh, it does.
Wow.
It does. How did it come back?
It looked like a bad skip in the first place.
Sure.
So maybe the course kind of knew it wasn't going to be quite fair. So he got some kind of crazy bounce off a log out of bounds, and he's back in.
Wild. Gannon getting a crazy scutter forward. I'm going to call that a scutter.
makes sense.
Scuzzle.
Yeah, the wind is down right now.
Yes, because when we went, I mean, there was not a stable enough disc.
And think about that, because those flags are still ripping, and it is genuinely down from when earlier in the day this was like unplayable almost.
These are all great shots.
When I played it, I mean, you could definitely play it, but it was just 760 feet, not
Yeah.
460.
Right,
like
right.
in terms of how long the hole was with the headwind. Now it's playing more like 460.
This needs help, I think.
Yeah, it's going to get a big skip in it. Yeah, this roll could be really nice.
Yeah, right into circle's edge territory.
I mean, that flag isn't even moving down there.
Mm-hmm. Brad coming up short with his concrete slab. He's got every bit of 65 feet.
That is kind of this course, though. Winds get really swirly. It pumps up at times where you're not expecting it, and then all of a sudden it's like, where did this come from?
Oh, just low.
Unable to capitalize. But the par is, somehow that was the score he was just always going to get.
Get in there.
Niklas over the rim. First birdie of the round.
Good one. Yeah, the flag's not even moving. Forget about my hole breakdowns. Not even close.
Gannon already with 3 birdies. Gets him to 2 under.
I guess a good perspective would be to say in practice, everybody's going putter.
Sure.
Like every person was going putter as dead straight as you could because you couldn't get the width wide enough with a fast rim driver to even have it stay anywhere near the green.
Yeah.
The day before in practice, I was going Halo Arrow. And then today I had to go full power Thunderbird.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the difference. That's pretty incredible. This is the easiest hole on the course. Par 4, 520 feet. The play for most people is going to be a layup on this undulating line, just somewhere near that path is kind of what you're aiming for. From there, you shoot across over the out of bounds gully to the basket that is on a ridge. Only danger that really comes into play on this hole is if you get a little bit over aggressive off the tee or if you make a mistake with your approach.
Yeah, heavy winds sometimes here as well affect the upshot a lot unless you're going over like this.
Gannon trying to go flip up, power drive, and there's a lot to like about this play.
Yeah, this is going to be well safe.
There's no out of bounds long, there's just that spectator rope, and he's not even in that area. Great shot for Gannon.
A little bit of Anheuser angle to start for Niklas, but plenty of stability to counter that.
I think we know where this guy's going. He's known for having the big distance. I mean, look at the height, and this is going to clear by a million miles.
Ezra, oh gosh, yeah.
Like well in bounds there.
Sure.
With that type of height, that's
Sure.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Ezra's also one of the most aggressive styles in the woods. Like he's all gas, no brakes in the woods. I think you'll see that these wood shots that we're going to see starting with the next hole are all pretty technical, but he usually is like going for the farthest he can possibly get on every single opportunity.
I didn't like this ante out of the hand just because with that crosswind, it's going to push it farther to the left, and he's going to be left with a circle's edge putt. And on this hole, you want to be close. This is, like you were saying, the easiest hole on the course.
Pretty ideal drive for Niklas. Pretty ideal approach.
I mean, that's what you want to see. Because everybody else who's going over, they have these little jump putts.
What do you guys think about taking the basket to the next group of trees, like another 80 more feet?
I like that.
I think one of two things. I think that, or make it a little bit more enticing to go for the eagle, because I feel like it's almost like it's just a tweener.
I think the drop zone needs to go.
Okay.
Like maybe no more, maybe where it crossed. So that, because the drop zone is so good right now.
I didn't actually realize that there was a drop zone. Brad coming up short on this putt. That's a frustrating par.
The drop zone as it stands right now is just like in the garden spot. Like today in my group, we had one OB and the drop zone is CTP now. Like it's better than all of our drives. Obviously you get the penalty, but
Right.
it's just a little bit too forgiving, I think.
Oh yeah, totally. I would have assumed that it would have been go where you cross. Brad still even par, 5 in a row to start the round. Needs to get something going as Gannon off to a hot start. Ezra off to a hot start, 3 under.
Maybe that's why that was part of the enticing play. Is with the drop zone being
Sure.
so easy.
Yeah,
you can
sure.
just go and then be like, oh, I'm fine if I don't make it.
Ezra Aderhold with the only eagle for the day, and that puts him at 4 under, a tie for the lead.
Oh, wow. Jerm, what do we got here?
Well, we got the first technical hole in the course, and this is why we're talking about this track having a little bit of variety. This is an absolute bruiser hole. Off the tee, low ceiling, either a backhand mid-range, maybe a forehand. There's a couple different alleyways you can go, but you slightly move the disc from left to right as you get down the fairway. There is a mandatory that you really don't have to worry about unless you hit an early tree. But let's see if Mason can navigate first and foremost this sloppy tee pad. Yeah.
What do you guys think about like
Oh
that?
my gosh, that is so perfect. Think about the what, Paul?
Oh, just his shot like that when you throw it directly right in front of you.
I've never done it, but I love watching it.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the other side of the coin. Showing why that low ceiling has to be respected. And oh my gosh, Simon, so far out in the woods, and this is all in bounds that he is going to have an opportunity to go vintage Simon line. What is he doing here?
Big spike.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to really catch this one that well. There it is, though. Well done with the camera crew.
Wait, what?
And what is he's back out in the field?
Again, yep.
Okay, this is going to be an interesting development.
Was that the intent?
Who knows? Oh, and Mason from the perfect drive kicks down and right. Now Simon, I'm sure he's just kind of throwing blind here.
I don't understand where Simon was before, if this is where he is now.
He just went over everything again, and then that's going to be 18 feet.
Okay. Mason from deep. Oh, he connects.
Wow.
I kind of thought maybe the editors were showing us the difference between a perfect drive and a terrible drive getting the same score. But in the end, Mason gets the score that he deserved with such a great drive. But Simon just making up ways the par.
Wow.
This to me is the most dangerous hole in the course. This is the one where you can get yourself a triple bogey so quick. I just cannot believe that with all the different out of bounds that they have stationed on this course right off the woods, that you could be all the way out in the field and be safe. That is so wild. What a drive from Niklas.
Yeah.
Might be out of position, but that's still just pipe in the line.
Him and Mason just having a smooth off battle.
Yeah. Could go in.
They're just
could
trying to
go
go
into
yeah.
extra innings too.
Yeah,
it's not going to be easy to pick the winner.
Just as slow, how slow can you throw it 380 feet?
That was a...
And then Bradley says, well, I hope. Oh, he put a little pepper on that. I think he loses this battle, but that is really
sweet.
good.
It stays
really
in
good.
bounds. This is tough right here.
Yep.
Not a lot of room.
You have to just be willing to...
Slow it down to 1 mile an hour and throw it.
Okay.
And hit that.
That's a fantastic shot. He's going to have 45 feet in for the birdie.
And back in the mix for smoothest.
Yeah. Just the pushing of the height restriction on that shot. So great. The only way he's going to get that much out of it, he's willing to do it. Right to the edge of circle 2 for Buhr.
Yeah, little chop Annie. I don't think that was a play for the birdie. I think he's just too far out of position. But Niklas got this little backdoor Annie line and just didn't quite commit to enough Anheuser.
Good result, though, not kicking straight right.
And look at this. I mean, I don't think I could imagine a better looking drive. And then that's what you're left with. Fortunate to hit that side of the tree because that can kick out of bounds and you're not guaranteed an up and down from that spot. Don't ask me how I know.
Not too fast. Yeah, there you go. There are some pretty difficult. There's some pretty difficult rough right behind this basket if you do come in with a little bit too much speed.
Niklas.
This needs to slow down then. Oh, that helps.
Yeah, slowed it down immediately. That just seemed like a misrelease, but he got away with it. It's looking like this card is going to get away with maybe 0 casualties.
A lot of good kicks.
Brad, even a chance for the birdie, and that's his first birdie of the round. Are you kidding me?
Great putt.
Wow, out of position off the tee shot.
We should have never said that he wasn't the smoothest. It was a bad idea. We cost everybody strokes.
Yeah, he's mad now.
The good thing is the next hole is another little buttery backhand line, and I can't wait to see these guys throw it.
And I think at 1 under through 6, like, you really don't have that much going wrong. I mean, in these conditions, you'd love to be maybe 2 or 3, but 1 is Brad is not
Under
falling
par.
that far.
Oh, no,
off
under
the
par.
pace.
I think if you can finish the front 9 under par, you're doing very well.
As a group going 1 under here, very good. As long as this guy can tap in a little 8-footer.
Yeah, only 18 birdies on the round, and that was by far the fewest percentage. There were 44% bogeys on only 41% par, so that was a hole that was eating up the field.
Hole 7, par 3, 305. This one has a bit of a low ceiling. OB on the right side, tough rough on the left. Straight backhand is certainly a play. Forehand flex can work as well. Just got to throw something straight low with some pace and try to slide it up to this basket.
Oh, sweet. We got another battle. Mason goes 1 miles per hour right down the gut. And
Not gonna.
That
be
is
easy to
exactly
beat.
as you described it last week, Nate. Just whatever he throws is going to have a late turn, landing flat at the end of its flight. All right, Brad. The gauntlet has been laid down.
just really good.
It's a nice answer. It's a really nice answer.
Yeah, all right.
That's great. Gannon, get out of here. We're having a smooth off, bud.
It's like, you guys can have your smooth off. I'll have my win off.
Look at this. Bad kick really right off that branch. I
Yeah.
like the angle that he had on that. And I do like the left to right ante play if you have that type of control. It makes the gap really big. There's no disc that flippy, right?
It was trying. It was trying. It was nearly flat at the point it hit that tree, but that was extreme hyzer release angle.
Oh, no. Pick a
Yeah.
side, buddy.
Thing is, that release was so clean. It was just a matter of don't aim at that one tree.
It's gonna be potentially a tricky par save here.
Ooh, with the anti-skip. It's trying to hyzer.
Got some decent ground play for the mulch that you have out here, but it's going to be 50 feet about for the par.
Good thing he's a good putter. He's got a chance from there. Gannon with a 100-foot putt.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I was saying to my group, like we were talking about how if these fairways had grass, if these were grass fairways and not mulch fairways, this would be like one of the top courses in Texas, if not on tour.
Yeah, I could agree with that. It'd be beautiful.
It's just maybe most aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. A little meat on the bone there from Niklas. Okay, here we go.
And
Didn't like it.
Brad.
Mason into the driver's seat.
That was not a close bogey putt either for Ezra. That was every bit of 30 feet. And Gannon with the par. So as good as our card played the last hole at 1 under, they're going to finish this hole at 1 over.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Looking more likely by the second. Guess that's why we got to film these things. I mean, who could ever guess? 1 over on 6 or 1 under on 6, 1
Yeah.
over on 7, just wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, if you told me that the card came out even between those 2 holes, I'd be like, okay. And if you said one of them was 1 over, one of them was 1 under, it certainly wouldn't have been in that order.
Hole 8, par 4, 570. Another short par 4. Couple gaps you can hit. You're going to see a lot of people, I think, go the left gap, sidearm plate about right here, and leave yourself one of the straightest shots you'll have on tour. You get off left or right, it's going to be a tough scramble into this green. Even if you beat those trees coming into here, it's a very protected green that leaves you a lot of 30 to 40 foot putts with a lot of protection. So this is have to be in a perfect spot, and then you have to throw a perfect shot. This isn't.
Oh, Brad gets that one through the V tree into the middle.
This isn't one that like lets you get away with it.
No. Sneaky little drive from Bradley. He needed that flatter. Gannon does
That's
get that angle he's looking for.
Miss
Can he miss
these?
these? Nope.
Not quite. Still in that lane, though. Just probably 40 feet short of what he maybe was going to get.
Get heavy. It is. No, don't get stuck behind one
These
of
are
those.
great drives. All 3 of these are in that pocket. That's just exactly what you're looking for.
Watch this little move. If he goes clean, that's not going to be clean.
That could be out of bounds.
So
It's
similar
not.
to the last drive. Just early and a big kick left, and now he's just in trouble from the get-go.
I mean, essentially, that's out of bounds because.
Oh, don't do
boy.
that to him.
This spells double bogey. It has it written all over it. I mean, this would take a miraculous shot now.
Oh, gosh. Right up against that. Of course he would prefer backhand in this moment, but taken away from him by the bad lie. And you're looking pretty right there, Jerm. It's a double at best.
Meanwhile, Gannon, that is ridiculous.
Beautiful shot.
So nice to see a guy that we know for being one of the best putters throw a shot that doesn't require a putt.
Look how it's just so center. I love it.
I think there should be a graphic for when his disc is flying. When he gets into like, it's a guaranteed birdie. It's like 45 short. It's just like birdie all the way through. Doesn't change. Ooh, he's trying to figure it out. Backhand sidearm.
Sometimes you want to throw a straight shot, you want to break it left to right or right to left. These dead straight shots can be the trickiest, especially when both sides of the gap are nearly identical.
I do like this play though. Something overstable. Break it off the left side and then cut it in.
Niklas definitely taking a lot of time here to make his decision and ends up throwing
A dime.
an absolute gem. And I think Evan has just come up and informed Niklas that he needs to quicken up the pace.
Official time warning.
Wow. Unbelievable with those 3 drives and 3 approaches from Niklas, Gannon, and Brad. And just juxtaposed with the double bogey potential struggles here with Ezra.
Wow.
Oh, unless he makes that? Oh my gosh.
Wow. This is from 100 feet.
And dead center, too. Just an inch
And
low.
look at it roll. Like, just let the guy go to the next hole.
Wow. And Niklas maintaining composure after what can rattle people up, getting an official warning for something like the time.
I like that, though. If you're going to do it to the other people,
Sure.
anybody goes over,
Absolutely.
call them on it as well.
It can definitely rattle you. In fact, right after in Waco, when Gannon got his time warning, a few holes later, I was walking down the fairway and the TD said, "Hey, Nate, I need to talk to you for a second." And I got all nervous and rattled. And he came up to me and said, "Hey, man, you've been playing great." And I was like,
Oh,
thanks.
yeah.
but the way, I think it was just a weird little awkward moment.
Sure.
But the way he
you
was like,
knew you were taking too much time.
I guess so. Yeah. But I was like, what did I do? You know, he's
Sure.
like, I
Yeah.
need to talk to you.
Sure. Well, hole 9 is going to be just so tough today with a huge right to left crosswind. 745 feet is the entire hole length, but we're trying to avoid this golf green if you're going big, and there is out of bounds left as well. From there, you have to find a way to navigate up on this tiny island here with the out of bounds going up the cart path and the right side up the hill, and it's going to be near headwind as you're going up into that last bit of the green. Looks like the wind is kind of calm right now, which is...
This needs to really go. There's no way.
And Mason putting together a solid front 9 aside from that mistake, and nearly jumps up to save the 4.
Incredible shot.
All in all, not a bad bogey to take. This is the most bogeyed hole on the course.
They've tightened the OB a little bit, and it really almost gives you nowhere appetizing to lay up to.
Yeah.
To where I think everyone's just sort
Gotta
of
go for
going for it because say you end up at the drop zone, or if you're OB in that area that you need to clear. I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do. There's just not much room to land in a safe area short of that area where it gets super, super narrow.
Gannon with a great layup. Well, that's a great drive, but short of the out of bounds green. Niklas getting this to turn over a bit, but...
Does it get up?
Whoa.
Oh, it doesn't
no.
clear it. So that will be a drop zone shot for Niklas.
That's a huge mistake. Surprising.
Yeah, the one thing with this drive you really have to do, it's not that far to cover, but it's an intimidating cover. And you have to have height.
Yes.
And there's a low branch off the tee that really gets in your head about it.
So let's see, what does Niklas go for here?
Oh, he likes to just kind of play it to the spot where I'm sure he was aiming for off the tee.
Yeah, not getting much more than the drives, which is that just tells you how small that next landing area is.
Yeah.
It's not worth going for. So he's like voluntarily taking 350 or something in.
Mm-hmm. This is a good looking line if it has enough stability. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So good.
That is an insane bounce back after the double bogey stretch on 7 and 8. And it is just so wild to see this hole where the shirts aren't just ripping.
So this is one where you have to get it on that Anheuser angle, because if you don't, that wind will push you straight out of bounds.
Well, that at least crossed up there on the green, so Brad will have a putt for the par.
Gannon throws it so far that he has this in with the sidearm, and I feel like that is the best play. Is this going to come back?
The lift.
Oh, no.
It does not. And that's going to be all the way down to the bottom of the hill.
Important shot for Niklas here to try to limit the damage.
And is it turning enough?
I'm a little
Yeah,
worried. No,
yeah.
I didn't need to be worried. Good
Just
shot.
outside bullseye. Great recovery. That's a bogey you can keep your chin up high with. That's 47% of the field taking bogey or above. So nearly 2 out of every 4 players on the card.
I mean, when I played this hole, it seemed impossible. It really
Same.
did. Bradley to save the par. This would be a great putt, and it is a great putt, right in the middle. Put it on the stripe.
You can see the flag moving a bit there.
It's a good par.
It's a really good par.
But I felt that, Nate, when even with my drive, it was like not in a great position, but there was nowhere for me to guarantee par. So you kind of have to go for it.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. That's a double.
That is a mistake you just don't see from any player, regardless of how good they are. It's just Niklas momentarily lapsed in focus, and the double bogey's going to cost them.
Wow, yeah, maybe that headwind. I mean, just overthinking it, overplaying it a little bit, but that is going to be one that sticks with them for a little bit, I think.
Linus Carlson, Andrew Marwe, Joseph Anderson, and welcome back Calvin Heimberg, all 5 under on the front 9. That is a solid score. As we said earlier, anything under par on the front 9, you feel pretty good with, especially as you finish hole 9 in that incredibly difficult condition. If you're under 2-3 under par, you're feeling pretty good. 5 under, you're leading the tournament.
Get ready for that back 9, though. I think a little bit more scoreable, maybe some more birdie chances for the guys, and we're going to bring it to you right away.